Hello, everyone. I want to talk to you guys about a possible scenario in which the Jews will be massacred and you will have another Holocaust. Now, for the first part of this video, I just want to make a clarification to YouTube because in one of the last videos that I did on this subject, YouTube got very upset with me and they accused me of trying to spread anti-Semitism. So first off, I just want to say I am not here to advance anti-Semitism. I am not endorsing another Holocaust. I am simply making this video as a warning to the Jews and to really whoever will watch this video that another Holocaust is actually very, very possible. I understand that the popular statement is never again, that there will never be another Holocaust ever again. But I just want to say that if history tells us anything, people do not really learn from history, and history doesn't exactly repeat every single time, but history sure as hell rhymes, and future events definitely parallel past events, and as the wisdom of Solomon tells us, there is nothing new under the sun. Things that took place in the past will have paralleled events in the future. And so with this in mind, I want to make a warning to people that another Holocaust is possible. Another Holocaust of the Jewish people is very possible. This is a warning, not an endorsement for anti-Semitism. Let me just make that very, very clear. Now, going into this subject, in Israel, the Orthodox Jews and the Palestinians are having the most kids. The Orthodox Jews more so than anyone else in Israel. The Orthodox Jews are outpopulating everybody in Israel with their extremely high birth rate. So you'll have 10 kids a family or more, something around that number. And the Palestinians have the second highest birth rates in Israel. The secular Jews, who tend to be more moderate, are having the least amount of kids. So you have the Orthodox Jews who are having lots of kids, 10, 15 kids a family, Palestinians having lots of kids, and then you have the moderate secular Jews who are having like 0.5 kids a family, something like that. So it's extremely low for the secular Jews. So the two extreme sides, the most extreme sides in Israel, are the ones who are having the most kids. At this rate, the future does not look very bright. What we are seeing is a very destructive storm brewing in the horizon. It is just accumulating and it is intensifying. That is what is happening right now. So at this rate, the future does not look bright. We have a very dangerous combination forming. Two of the most extreme sides in Israel having the most kids, and they both hate each other. They both hate each other. So what does this look like for the future? It looks very bloody. And this is a possible scenario. Imagine something like this taking place. Some Palestinian guy gets a gun, goes into a synagogue, and kills a bunch of Jewish worshipers. The Jewish Orthodox get extremely upset. They start massacring Palestinians, and you have another Sabra and Shatila, but this time it's Orthodox Jews who are doing the killing. The world responds with outrage. Turkey comes along and says, "Yildirim, Yildirim, we cannot allow our Palestinian brothers to be massacred. We have to do a military intervention. This is a humanitarian crisis." The Iranians come along and say the same thing. And for decades, the Iranians have said, that they want to destroy Israel. They are extremely anti-Israel. They make they don't make that very complicated for people to understand. They make that very clear. So the Iranians are going to say, well, this is our chance. We have said in the past numerous times that we want to destroy Israel. The Shiites have been talking about bombing Tel Aviv and also bombing Mecca. So they're going to say, well, this is our chance to hit the Israelis. They're doing this humanitarian crisis. What they're doing is evil. It's destructive. It's genocide. We have to go save our Palestinian brothers. And then you'll have all of the Shiite fanatics in that red light room going, ooh, 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 for Ali and for their Shiite religion. And I believe the Germans will also get involved because the Germans are very critical of Israel. They tend to be very, very pro-Palestine. So the Germans will say, yeah, we have a very, very bad humanitarian crisis on our hands. We have to get involved. We have to do a military intervention. This is now the chance for Germany, for Deutschland to show that we have the ability to be very, very effective in the realm of foreign policy. We have to help these people. It is a humanitarian crisis. Now, you can say, well, Ted, the Germans have been neutered since the end of the Second World War, blah, 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 blah. The Germans were the ones pushing for military intervention in Kosovo in the 1990s. It was the Germans who armed and backed the KLA against the Serbs in Kosovo back in the 1990s. So there is no, you can't say that this would be unprecedented for Germany to do, because Germany did this back in the 1990s after the Second World War. And that was when their military was... the West German military was completely under the control of American power. Now the Germans are becoming more and more independent. And the Germans have also been working on integrating the other militaries of the EU with the Bundeswehr, with the German military. Just recently, the Dutch military got pretty much completely incorporated into the German military. The Dutch Navy is now one with the German Navy. So we are already seeing the advancement of German power in Europe. A lot of people will say, well, Ted, the Germans, they don't have enough people to actually be a serious military power. But you're not really considering the fact that there are 500 million people living in the EU. So the potential for making a serious military force under German influence is definitely there. It just needs to be done. That's all that's left to it. And so there is a very strong anti-Israel sentiment in Germany, and the Germans are very sympathetic for the Palestinian cause. And so I believe that the Germans will say, okay, we have to join the Turks to help the Palestinian people. Now, you can say, well, Ted, why would Germany do that? Why would Germany side with Iran? Iran is this crazy rogue state. Well, the Germans have always been very friendly with the Iranians. Even under American pressure to isolate Iran, the Germans have been defiant against American demands, and they have been quite friendly with the Iranians, especially in comparison to how the Americans have treated Iran. And you can go all the way back to the Clinton administration, and you will see the American government very upset with the Germans for really ignoring American demands to just join America, follow America's lead, and isolate Iran. Now, the whole point of contention is that Iran wants to make nuclear weapons to bomb Israel, so why would you want to side with Iran? And that is, this is a very, very interesting phenomena that we're seeing here, because the Iranians have said in the past numerous times that they want to wipe Israel off the face of the map. And the Germans actually almost wiped out the nation of the Jews. So the Germans have actually gotten closer to wiping out the nation of Israel than the Iranians have. The Iranians haven't done that. Although they want to, and they've made that quite obvious. So the Germans, the fact that they have been very friendly with the Iranians really shows us that they don't really give a damn about being nice with the Jews. The only reason why Germany is nice with Israel is because, well, if Germany were to do the opposite, it would look very bad, considering its recent history of almost wiping out the Jews. So the Germans have to be nice with Israel. They have to be nice with the Jews. They have to sort of placate the Americans. But at the same time, the Germans will piss off the Americans and try to bypass American control and do dealings with the Iranians. We saw this after Trump pulled out of the Iran deal. After Trump pulled out of the Iran deal, the Germans began to work to make financial channels to actually continue doing financial dealings with the Iranians, or the Germans were talking about that, definitely. So what this really indicates is that the Germans don't really care so much about appealing to the pro-Israel lobby in the United States or or pro-Israel groups in Germany. They will acquiesce to their demands, but that's only for political reasons. Back in the early 2000s, the Germans wanted to build some liquid natural gas plants in Iran. The pro-Israel lobby got very upset by this. They began to pressure Germany to cancel the plan, and the Germans did that. Not because they wanted to, but because they were under pressure. And there has been a lot of discourse within German politics and within the German government about influence from pro-Israel groups in Germany. There is a politician, I believe his name is Andreas Nick, and he is a major politician in Germany. And Andreas, I remember a number of years ago, said that the influence of the pro-Israel groups, the pro-Israel lobby in Germany, has become very excessive. So there is a lot of anger against the pro-Israel movement in Germany. And there is a lot of pro-Palestinian sentiment. The fact that the Germans have been very friendly with the Iranians for decades. Amongst Western European countries, there is no country more friendly to Iran than Germany. You can't expect the Germans to be like, yeah, we want to kill all the Jews. But you can read between the lines, and you can see these little signs that indicate something a lot darker than what we actually think, than what we actually presume. So in the situation of a humanitarian crisis in Israel, in which you have extremist Jews killing Palestinians, I could totally see the Germans siding with Turkey against Israel to help the Palestinians. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if the Germans in the future say, in such a circumstance, in such a situation, let's resume from where we left off. Anyway, you guys just heard some theology. God bless.